For the longest time, many African travelers have been facing significant restrictions when trying to visit Western countries. The process of obtaining a travel visa to the West is often cumbersome, requiring a lengthy and complex application process and extensive background checks that can take months or even years to complete. And even if everything checks out, there is still no guarantee that the visa will be granted. What's even more frustrating for many Africans is the fact that citizens from Western countries can travel to Africa without a visa. They can simply board a plane and visit Africa whenever they want, enjoying their time there before returning to their home countries without any restrictions. It's a situation that many Africans can relate to and find unfair. However, there seems to be a shift in the way African countries view the West, with many leaders now turning to Russia as a more favorable partner. Russian President Vladimir Putin has been actively working to strengthen ties with African nations, and his efforts have not gone unnoticed. In fact, Russia has become increasingly popular among African leaders, with some countries even canceling business deals with the West in favor of partnerships with Russia. One of the most notable examples of this trend is the recent signing of several military and other deals between Russia and countries like Burkina Faso and Niger. As Putin's influence in Africa continues to grow, it remains to be seen whether the West will be able to maintain its position as the primary partner of choice for African nations. Now, Russia has recently expressed interest in making the country visa-free for all African countries, which is a significant development from their previous policy. This comes after Russia also announced its intention to forgive the debt of African countries, indicating a growing interest in strengthening ties between the two regions. Presently, Africa's tourism preferences lean towards the United States, Europe, and select Asian destinations, with Russia not attracting a significant number of African tourists. Russia is determined to transform this situation and create a robust alliance with the African continent. In early September 2023, the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs released reports indicating that Russia is planning to implement a visa-free regime with all African countries. While Russia has not disclosed the official list of approved African countries, it has reached an agreement with 32 nations on the continent for visa-free travel for holders of diplomatic service passports. The second Russia-Africa summit concluded on a high note as Russian President Vladimir Putin and African leaders finalized the adoption of a declaration and approved an action plan for the Russia-Africa Partnership Forum from 2023-2026, along with several other documents. This summit was a significant milestone in the relationship between Russia and Africa and was attended by over 40 African heads of state and government. Apart from the forum and summit, various agreements, contracts, and related documents pertaining to different areas of cooperation between Russia and Africa were also given approval. These areas included trade and investment, energy, agriculture, health, education, and security. Expressing his satisfaction with the outcome, Putin stated in a speech shared on the official Kremlin website, "We highly value the results achieved during our collaborative efforts at the summit. I have full confidence that these achievements will serve as a solid foundation for further strengthening Russian-African partnership in pursuit of prosperity and well-being for both our peoples." Notably, Putin expressed his pleasure regarding how constructively and amicably the summit transpired. Furthermore, both Russia and Africa reaffirmed their commitment to shaping a multipolar world order, which is based on the principles of equality, sovereignty, and mutual respect. The Russia-Africa Summit is scheduled to take place every 3 years, as outlined in the established rules and regulations. During the intervals between these summits, the dialogue partnership mechanism will be activated, ensuring ongoing political consultations through the collaboration of the Ministries of Foreign Affairs of both Russia and African countries, as well as the leadership of the African Union. Russia acknowledges the need to attract African tourists and recognizes the potential for strengthening ties between Russia and Africa while promoting cultural exchange, economic development, and mutual understanding. In an effort to achieve this, Russia intends to offer visa-free access to African citizens, creating a more welcoming environment for African travelers. This approach has been successful in attracting tourists and boosting local economies in various parts of the world. Many countries have implemented this strategy and observed positive outcomes. Providing visa-free access to African citizens would undoubtedly benefit both Russia and Africa and could potentially lead to increased tourism and economic growth. Russian President Vladimir Putin announced at the plenary session of the International Parliamentary Conference themed Russia, Africa in a Multipolar World that Russia has written off more than $20 billion African countries' debt. This announcement was not the first time Putin had made such a statement. In fact, he previously mentioned this at the plenary session of the Russia-Africa Economic Forum, where he spoke about Russia's participation in the initiative on African countries' debt relief. Putin further elaborated on Russia's cooperation with African countries within the framework of international structures such as the World Food Programme, International Civil Defense Organization, and World Health Organization. He also mentioned joint programs that have been launched with a number of African countries where borrowed funds are used to finance national economic growth projects. As part of the Russia-Africa Economic Forum, Putin revealed that a busy agenda had been planned, which included presenting particular ideas and proposals regarding promising areas of Russian-African cooperation to participants. He added that heads of Russian companies, together with the Economic Development Ministry, had prepared presentations of key Russian competencies that open new possibilities for economic cooperation. The Russian government's decision to write off African countries' debt amounting to more than $20 billion is commendable, as it will help African nations to redirect funds that would have been used to service the debt towards economic development projects that will improve the quality of life for their citizens. This move will also foster stronger economic ties between Russia and African countries, which is essential for promoting global economic growth and development. In conclusion, we kindly request your valued input on this matter. Please consider subscribing to our channel, liking our content, and sharing it with others. Furthermore, we would greatly appreciate your thoughts on the matter in the comment section below.